Howdy, stranger, outlaws, bandits. Today I'm bringing you a story of betrayal and healing. Hope to hear your opinions in the comments. As always, see you on the other side.
My best friend slept with my husband, and now he's begging for a second chance. Original post. I'm still trying to process what happened, but I need to share this with someone. My best friend, someone I trusted with my deepest secrets, slept with my husband. I know it sounds cliché, but it feels like my whole world has been turned upside down. We've been friends since college, and I considered her a sister. We went through thick and thin together, and I thought our bond was unbreakable. But I guess I was wrong. My husband and I have been having issues for a while now, but I never thought he'd cheat on me, especially not with my best friend. It's like they both betrayed me in the worst possible way. He's been begging for a second chance, saying it was a mistake and that he loves me. But I don't know if I can ever trust him again. And as for my best friend, I don't even know where to start. Has anyone else ever dealt with something like this? How did you handle it?
Well, stranger, I'm sorry to hear what happened to you and your best friend and your husband. Unfortunately, it's always the people that we trust and love deeply that are able to hurt us in the worst possible way. Before we go on to the updates, I would like to share my story. When I was younger, I had a partner. She was a little bit younger than me. And I had a friend. Well, I considered him a friend. I knew him for about 8 years ish. And first they were together, which I didn't know about. Because obviously in the comment sections, there's going to be a few that are going to say, if he was a friend to you, you wouldn't have gotten with his ex. Yes, I do believe that is true, and even that's my opinion on the entire matter. However, I didn't know that they were together. I only found out about, I think, 1 year in our relationship. Interesting thing was, he didn't mention anything about it, like he kept genuinely quiet. After a year-ish, we started having issues, but nothing really shone between the two of them. So after a few months of having issues, I got into work. She was still studying. And one night, um, we were minding her sister's house because her and her husband were away on a trip. So we were minding the house and looking after their dog. And on the weekend, I needed to pull some extra hours for certain reasons. She was complaining that we couldn't go out because I was working early the next day. So I told her it's not an issue. You can still go out, but I'm genuinely feeling stressed and I feeling drained. So my mistake was not looking after who she's going out with. I'm not a person to forbid or to tell my significant other not to go out with me. That's just not the world that we live in. But my mistake was not asking who was going to be at that gathering or at that party. So we had a discussion and we had an agreement that she's going to be back by 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to be still awake, so at least we can spend some time together. Regardless of am I working the next day or not, I still wanted to spend at least a little bit of time with her. So by the time I got home from work or got to the place from work, she was already getting ready to go out. Fair. We saw each other for about a good 30 minutes before she bolted. I made dinner for myself and later on for her. some films on for myself so I can doze off basically while I'm waiting for her. Around midnight ish, I receive a call from her saying that the party is way good. She would like to stay a little bit longer. And I was like, listen, you're more than welcome to stay, but I'm not gonna promise that I'm going to be awake by the time you get back. No worries, she's going to rush back. Fine. I was assuming that the party, by her accord, is going to last maybe an hour more. So I actually took the liberty to stay up till about half 3ish in the morning. At that point, I was just completely drained, so I might have fallen asleep. Then 5:30 in the morning, she wobbles in, completely drunk. I wake up instantly. I'm a light sleeper. I wake up instantly. She's falling over herself, and that just put like a really sour taste in my mouth. So we had a massive argument about at least not giving me the satisfaction or not giving me even the heads up that listen, this is going to be the case. Please don't worry or something. And at the end of it all, I can clearly remember till this day, she was the one that felt annoyed by me having the audacity to ask or require her to be at least respectful towards me. This even further our argument. It was not a pleasant one. So for that day, I think we even stopped talking. So I left maybe 2 hours later for work, and right after work, I just went home. I still had the decency to call her up and ask, can we talk civilized? At that point, I was just completely drained of life, but we still met up. I asked her to at least explain what happened and why didn't I get the basic form of respect to let me know about certain things. Her argument was that my friend was there and he was looking after her, which I absolutely didn't know, first and foremost. Second, it did put me on edge a little bit. But I was thinking, since he's my friend, I shouldn't be worried that much. However, as the story unfolded, um, it turned out that my friend was even more drunk than her. He laid his head on her lap while she stroked his hair, and he confided in her that she's still madly in love with her. When I heard this, it somehow just absolutely banished every good feeling that I had. If you value somebody as a friend, you tell these things to them, or even your partner, you tell these things to them, and you don't go and betray them. So, as it turns out, this relationship lasted about 2 more weeks. I was even stupid enough to pay out um, a new tattoo for her that she was meaning to get for a while. And I was like, I'm making decent money. Why not? It was, I think, a month before her birthday. And one of my friends was a tattoo artist. So I asked him to get a booking, like an early booking. So I got the tattoo for her. After the tattoo, within a week and a half, she broke up with me. across phone, because that's how you do, obviously. You don't have the goals to go in front of somebody and tell them, listen, X and Y. No, across text. I was floored. I think for a good day and a half, I didn't necessarily know who I was. Like at that point, my entire world just crumbled. Here's the kicker. Within a day, I got a message from another one of my friends saying that they were already holding hands walking past some schools that I'm familiar with in the neighborhood. My first impression and my first reaction was this is not true. Obviously, you're going through the 5 stages of grief, denial, and I didn't want to believe it. I wanted to see it from my own perspective. I wanted to see it with my own eyes. So 2 days later, I'm still in denial. I accepted by that point that we are not together. And smartphones were just coming out then. And I had like a really basic one. And I remember clearly receiving a text message with, please open up your chats when you get home. We have something to show you. And one of my friends sent over some pictures of them walking and kissing. From that point on, I was like, no, these two people are dead to me. If you don't have the goal to go up to somebody and say, listen, I would much rather go back to this person, then there's nothing really to say about that. So for, I think, a few years, I just completely cut contact with both of them. Nowadays, the dude is still sort of angry with me, gives me attitude whenever he sees me. The young lady, I'm like, yeah, whatevs. You just do you. We have an occasional like friendly discussions, if you can call it that, whenever I see her or whenever we see each other. I'm like, cool, how's everything? We have like a civil discussion, but that's about it. So what I would recommend is at least just don't stoop to their levels.
It's been a few weeks since I found out, and I'm still trying to come to terms with what happened. My husband is still begging for forgiveness, but I'm not sure if I'm ready to give it to him yet. I've been talking to a therapist, and she's been helping me work through my emotions. I'm trying to focus on self-care and prioritize my own well-being right now. As for my best friend, we had a confrontation a few days ago, and it did not go well. She's still trying to downplay what happened, saying it was a mistake, and that she loves me. But I'm not buying it. I need time to process and heal, and I don't want her around me right now.
Well, stranger, I would like to congratulate you for at least seeking out advice and a little bit of help, even from a therapist. Um, the fact that your friend is still downplaying it makes me believe that they are trying to, or at least she's trying to gaslight you into believing that this is not something major. So there might be something behind all of this that you're not seeing just yet. On your husband's side, you said that there's already a few weeks have passed since the incident. If he's genuinely remorseful, I still don't say to go back to him. No, you need time to heal, at least a good few months. If the problem is here that the trust is gone, you don't know if you can trust him anymore. So, in my opinion, that's already dead in the waters. But let's give him the benefit of the doubt. There are certain instances where even cheaters can change. However, that's a rare occurrence. Um, if he genuinely puts in effort for a longer period of time and not just like few weeks, like few months, like if he genuinely wants to get back with you, he will make significant changes. Obviously, we as the viewers or the listeners don't really know what has been going on in the background. So I'm hoping that the issues that you guys had were at least minuscule enough to look past or work past. However, if they were monumental and world shaking, then I'm not sure how this is going to pan out. The main thing is right now you're doing the best thing you can do and healing yourself and seeking guidance to heal. What your friend is saying, she doesn't seem to realize the gravity of the situation. Trust is an extremely valuable thing. And as they say, trust is earned, not given. And if you mess it up, and it's easy to mess up, it's hard to get back. So for now, I commend you and I applaud you for what you are doing.
It's been a few months since the confrontation, and I've been working hard on myself. I've started taking classes, joined a gym, and started pursuing hobbies I've always wanted to try. My husband is still trying to win me back, but I'm not sure if I'm ready to take him back yet. He's been going to therapy and seems committed to changing, but I need more time to see if it's genuine. As for my best friend, we haven't spoken since the confrontation, and I'm okay with that. I've blocked her number and social media, and I'm focusing on building a new support network.
Again, stranger, well done for all the progress that you made in these past few months. Um, as mentioned in the previous clip, I see some form of remorse from your husband. However, again, this could be just surface level. So if he's already in therapy working on himself, that's at least a good start. From what you said about your friend, that's concerning because it just makes me believe that that friend is narcissistic a little bit because she did something unexcusable and yet she is still the one that's got hurt. Like, no, those are the people that you keep at an arm's length or even longer or farther. Um, keep at it. If your husband's intentions are fake, eventually that's going to change and that's going to show. But for now, again, just continue with your self healing. You're really on a good road. He will show his true colors. If he wants you back, he will do or continue doing what he needs to do. If not, eventually that effort is gonna dry up.
It's been a year since everything went down, and I'm happy to report that I'm in a much better place now. I've started dating someone new, and he's amazing. He's kind, supportive, and loves me for who I am. I ran into my ex-husband the other day, and he looked miserable. I'm glad I'm not the one who's stuck in that toxic relationship anymore. As for my best friend, I saw her at a mutual friend's party a few weeks ago, and we had a final confrontation. I told her how her actions affected me, and she finally apologized and took responsibility for her actions. It was a closure I needed, and I'm grateful for it. I'm moving on with my life, and I'm excited to see what the future holds.
Well, stranger, as previously mentioned in the past clips, I applaud you for how you handled this entire situation. Seemingly, your husband wanted to fix it, but I do understand where you're coming from. because you never know with cheaters. Unfortunately, they can go back to bad habits. And since you mentioned that you got out of that toxic relationship, I'm guessing that there were a lot more things that you didn't share. In this case, congratulations. And I'm happy that you moved on with your life and found somebody that actually values you. From your friend's point, um, I'm happy that she apologized. But if it took her this long to realize, or even realize, that she made a mistake, then that person should not really be in your life. At least she realized things and apologized to you. But take that apology um, with a grain of salt and keep away from her. As much as you're happy about her apologizing, just don't let her back into your space. As you mentioned that you're already gathering some other social networks. Happy how things turned out for you, and I wish you the best, and I really wish that everything turns out the way you wanted it to be.
Hope you enjoyed today's episode, stranger. If you did, consider joining our band of outlaws and bandits. About time I ride off. It seems like they're gaining some ground on me. Until the next time, stranger, try to keep yourself out of trouble.